Don't make me do this. I'll cut your head off, man. Okay, that's it. The fuck? Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Let's talk it out now. Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm stuck. I can't go through bushes. I don't know why. Oh, no. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. What the fuck? Leave me alone. I've always dreamed of a real medieval RPG, not a fantasy medieval RPG, an actual period accurate, realistic medieval RPG. No bullshit like dragons or magic or fucking wizards or anything like that. An actual, period style, landscape accurate RPG. I've also wanted an actual realistic game where you had to eat, you had to sleep, you had to actually tend to bleeding wounds by using medicine and bandages and all that stuff, instead of using food to heal, which never made any sense in video games. Fallout New Vegas kind of did that with the hardcore mode, where you had to eat and sleep and drink or else you'll die. I feel like most people didn't play that way, though, when they played New Vegas. I feel like they just chose the easy way while I chose the hardcore way. Well, we finally have a game that does both. It's a very realistic survival simulator, and it's also a real medieval RPG. And that game is Kingdom Come Deliverance, which you already knew because you read the title of the video. So, and you probably looked it up too. So, I don't know what the fuck the whole point of this intro is. Here's my review. The game takes place in the year 1403 in Bohemia, during the Holy Roman Empire. You play a young man named Henry, who's the son of a blacksmith, and basically most of the game is a revenge story. Your village gets slaughtered by a giant army of soldiers, and you swear to you promise your father that you deliver his sword to Sir Radzig. It gets a lot more complicated later on, but I don't want to spoil it because the game is very choice driven. So I don't want to say something that may or may not even happen in your playthrough. Everything is very choice driven. You're gonna want a lot of speech in this game. You can play in a lot of different ways. You can either fight people or try to negotiate with them. There's also haggling with stores for better prices. You can also bribe people to get into places that you otherwise would have to, assault to get into. So your ways of playing through are very flexible. You can do whatever you want. Play however you want to play. If you want to be a pacifist like me during my first playthrough, you can do that, and you only need to kill one boss, and all you need to do is shoot an arrow to his face, and that's it. So yeah, you can hardly, you can almost entirely avoid combat, with the occasional fist fights here and there. Now let's talk about the combat. The melee. With the sword fighting, you move with the left analog stick, and you use the right analog stick to control the direction of where you're going to swing. You can do light stabs or heavy slashes. The melee the combat system is very hard. It's very hard to learn, and even harder to master, in my personal opinion. I don't think it's a combat system that's easy to learn per se. It's actually kind of hard to get a grasp on how to do it. You know, you also have blocking. You can dodge. Um, you can kind of counterattack by blocking at the right time. Um, and the fist fights are kind of the same way. You know, you have the light attacks, the heavy punches, dodge, kind of block, same thing. One thing I'm concerned about is the lock-on system. I find it either broken or non-existent because I can't really switch to different opponents, you know, until the other opponent is dead or knocked out. I don't know if the developer completely forgot to add this, if they just didn't think about it, but all I know is the lock-on, it just doesn't seem like it's there. I also have a problem with locking off. Like if I want to run away from someone, I find it very hard to run away from them because I'm stuck in a lock-on system. So I don't know if they can fix that. I don't know what that's all about. So yeah, that's the combat system. I know I didn't get too deep into it, but you get the gist. It's very unique. It's actually very interesting, but it might piss you off because it is pretty hard. No opponent is really a pushover in this game. Let's talk about the save system. I know this is something that pissed a lot of people off. I'm kind of indifferent. It honestly didn't really bother me, minus a couple places where I had to quit or I died and my save was kind of a long ways away. There are no manual saves unless you have an item called Savior Shops or Savior Shaps, whatever they're called. You can only use them once per time, and they're expensive. So basically, I just rely on autosaves by either starting or completing a quest or any event. You can also save by sleeping, which I'll talk about later on. So yeah, that's the save system. Now, it keeps the saves. It never auto saves. I mean, it never writes over another save. So basically, if you want to do something and you missed out on it, you can do it again by loading a very old save. There are many side missions to do and activities to do. It's a very big game. There's a lot to do, such as near the beginning where you throw poop at a guy's house with your friends. I don't know. I don't remember why you throw poop at his house, but you just do. There's poop in this game.
Poop again! He called the shit poop!
Yes, and you can also go hunting, mainly rabbits and deer, and you can cook their meat and eat it, and it's good meat. It's very nutritious. You can also date the girl who saved your ass near the beginning and get to second base with her within the first week. And of course there's gambling. You can play dice, and it's actually pretty fun. Whoever rolls the most pairs of the highest number and gets to 2,000 points first wins. I usually lose, but it's still pretty fun. Gameplay mechanics. My favorite part about the game is how the whole thing is set up. We're talking about the exploration, the design of the world, the way it looks exactly like the real thing. They designed the landscape to look exactly like it used to be back in the Middle Ages. And a lot of those places actually still exist to this day and preserved. Fast travel, there's fast travel, which is really cool because it's not just like you teleport there at a load screen. You see your guy move throughout the map, and the more you travel, the more it takes up and decreases your energy, your nutrition level, and you gotta watch out for that while you're fast traveling. Arguably, it's actually safer to not fast travel, but I do so anyway, just for the sake of lack of effort on my end. I'm lazy, I can't help it, I'm sorry. You have to sleep in this game to keep up your energy level, Waiting does not do anything besides just waiting for someone to wake up or whatever, nor does it save your game. Eating, of course, raises your nutrition level back up and prevents you from starving. You have to eat a lot. If you have old food in your inventory, it starts to spoil, and if you eat it, you get food poisoning. You can actually fix that in the level up system. The level up system is a perk that allows you to eat poisoned food, which I'll talk about later on. And even though I like eating in this game, Henry eats way too fucking much. He needs to eat like 3 pots of chili a day.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
I am so full. Man, that was good. Well, time to save some bitches. The game has one of my favorite leveling up systems of all time. Every little thing you do levels up with certain perks. No matter what, whether you're eating, improving on riding your horse, stealth, lock picking, anything. It has its own perk tree. And a lot of the perks have both positive and negative effects. For example, with drinking, there's even a perk branch for drinking alcohol. There's one where you can consume wine, and wine gets you drunk a lot slower than beer does, and beer gets you more drunk than wine does, and vice versa. We also have a sleeping perk where you could sleep better during the night and sleep worse during the day, if you do sleep better at night. And like I said with the food, there's one where you don't need to worry about eating spoiled food. That's another one with actual no negative effects to it. So yeah, everything you do levels you up, and what you choose to level up helps determine what you want to do and how you want to play the game. It's a brilliant, genius level up system. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's probably even better than Skyrim's leveling up system. It's amazing. And every decision and action you make during the story, or even not even during the story, like if you don't do the story and do some side missions and sit on the ass and do whatever you want, when you come back to a certain spot or quest, the consequences of doing so could catch up to you. There are also missable quests. If you take too long not doing a quest, it'll lock you out permanently. So certain people have a time limit. If you don't do shit, they become impatient, and you won't be able to do the side quest anymore. So you gotta watch out. There's a lot of responsibility to this game, I once got drunk with a priest during the main story. I ended up having sex in the barn and woke up to us chasing a sheep. It was hilarious, but still, your decisions matter a lot in this game. Your decisions can change anything. The choices could affect you. It could also affect the people around you, random people. You never know.
He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed.
I...
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering, and it's my job to whip you into shape, so I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks, because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. And now, let's hear what you have to report. You! Here? That's not the kind of man I need.
But
We waited for you while people here suffered, damn it. We could have caught the ones who did it, and because of you, they've run off.
Because I...
Silence! I don't want to hear it.
I could do with a bite to eat.
The graphics of Kingdom Come Deliverance is very similar talked about as Monster Hunter World. The people and characters look kinda average or below average, kinda like last gen, but the environments are beautiful. The graphics on the landscapes is amazing, very advanced looking. The lighting during night, like when the moon shines on a town and the roads, is incredible. You can see every little piece of texture. Lighting is fantastic. It's one of the most beautiful landscapes I've ever seen in a video game. So much detail graphically. Now, here's the biggest issue with the game. It's so buggy. Now, first of all, this isn't a bug, but the facial expressions. People's facial expressions that are like emotionless at times, you know? When they're saying something really sad or funny, or they're witnessing something really terrible, like their parents being slaughtered, their faces don't really show it. It's just like, duh, you know, it's just like, really, like, why am I looking at his face when his face isn't expressing any emotion? So yeah, the facial expressions are kind of like dead. Kind of like how Mass Effect Andromeda's was.
Hey, Darian.
Yes.
Well, something just happened to your dog.
You mean the dog that I love so much and I can't live without?
He kinda got hit by a car. He's in the hospital now. He's in critical condition, but he may not make it.
I see. Excuse me, I have to be alone right now. Kingdom Come Deliverance is not a bad game, but it is one of the buggiest games I've ever played. Period. Most of the bugs I never even recorded because it just would have taken up too much space on my hard drive. So I only did the ones that were visually concerning, like this really bad graphical pop-up, with the stairs being like invisible for like 20 seconds, and then it finally popped up. You know, weird glitches all over the place. The worst one was a cutscene, a story cutscene ruined by a load screen, where all you could see was the dialogue at the bottom. You couldn't hear anything, you couldn't see anything. There was just the background music and the black load screen with the cutscene dialogue. So thank God that's there. Thank God I enabled the dialogue, because otherwise I would have completely not known that there was a cutscene there. Yeah, that's bad. There's also this one scene where our eyes were black for some reason. No, this was fucking scary. This terrified the hell out of me, guys. His eyes were black, and his eyes are black, and they remind me of the kid from the X-Files movie. Why are their eyes black? Did the lighting like not load in their eyes or something? Why is it black? It's creepy. It's disturbing too. Another thing is the opening screen, the opening cutscene. Every time you start the game, there's this 2-minute long cutscene that tells you the background story before the events that are taking place in your game, kinda. You can't skip it. So every time you start the game, you have to watch this. Over and over and over again. The same 2 minutes. Unskippable. I want this to be patched. I'm sick and tired of looking at it. I already know about it. I've already started the game. Why does it keep showing me it? So, remove this, or make it so that the load screen is less, so that I can at least skip some of it. So yeah, and the movement is a little weird. And one more thing, this isn't really a bug. Maybe no, it's not a bug, because it tells me I can't eat while sitting down. Why can't I eat while sitting down? Since when can a human not eat when sitting down? Okay, well, this is one part that's not realistic.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can hold it. There we go, I'm lifting it up. Just like this. I hope I don't drop it. Whoa, I kinda suck at this. No wonder why I can't hold the sword for shit. Jesus Christ.
But despite all these terrible bugs, wackiness, and visual fuck-ups, it just can't stop me from thinking this as a Game of the Year contender. I know it sounds crazy because of how messy this game looks, but I'm so appreciative of this game. I'm so passionate for this game because it delivered something that I've been looking for so long.
Why did you leave me?
A realistic, open world video game with a lot of responsibility and a lot of consequences, and fighting is not easy, and you get your ass kicked pretty easily if you're not skilled. It's one of the most unique experiences I've had with any RPG. It's so hardcore, it's so realistic. Like I said, every decision or action you take has its ability to kind of change the world around you. And that's something I hardly ever really see. I understand it's a game that's not for everyone because of this. There's a lot of responsibility. It can be very stressful at times. It can be very harsh, like the save system. But I feel like most people could be able to find something at least to appreciate this past its technical backdrops. Hell, I bet even my doppelganger tard would find a thing to do in this game.
Hey look guys, I invented lettuce racing. Can you guess which one is mine? That's right, mine's winning. Yeah. Oh man, this is intense. I love lettuce racing. Huh? Oh shit. I'll be right there, sorry.
And so my final score for Kingdom Come Deliverance is an 8 out of 10. It's great, but don't buy this game. Not yet. Don't buy it because it's so good that it deserves better than the bugs that have been bringing it down. You know, it deserves to be patched really badly. I'd give it up to a 9 out of 10 if they could at least patch all the quest-related bugs so that people can, you know, play all the missions with ease. It's just such a great experience when bugs are not happening. That's why I'm giving it an 8 instead of a 9 or a 10, you know? I know a lot of people have been experiencing corrupt save bugs and shit. And if I lost my save, I'd be pretty fucking pissed. So I feel like even though I recommend this game, I don't recommend it yet. Okay? Wait until patches come. Or wait until a steep price drop if it doesn't get patched, because it's a very low budget developer. I don't know if they even have the money to patch it. They hardly had enough money to make it. So, you know, we'll see, but maybe like $30 at most as of right now, or wait until if it does get patched. Like the Dark Knight, it's a game that we deserve, but not the one we need right now. Just wait until get the patches done, and then we can enjoy it for what it really is. So yeah, I want you guys to remember this game. I don't want you to forget about it. So maybe that's why I'm making this review, is because even though I'm telling you not to buy it right now, I'm telling you to buy it later on. So keep this in your mind, the back of your head, whatever, on the list of good open world RPGs to buy. Last thing before wrapping this up, I want a sequel. I want an even more realistic sequel where every time you have to eat, you have to take a giant shit.
The Gamer Gods!
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panuje sej smutek, do dnie loi rano utek, niech ich małżeński majstrat, do wczera żylne staje krak. Už sej mojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě i kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Burger se baví, panorama slaví a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zejtra jen tu jsou nejden, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!